Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Backcourt Press with your host, Hunter Metnick here, and I will be discussing my recent thoughts on the NBA and everything and anything NBA right here. Before I start, follow me on Instagram at Backcourt Press, also on Twitter at Backcourt Press _. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and like and comment about your thoughts on everything going on that I'm going to talk about. Unfortunately, I'm filming this on Tuesday the 16th, and I had a busy weekend along with yesterday, the 15th. I was not able to watch any of the games. So I will be discussing my notes that I have written down from Sunday night's games, the 14th. Probably going to end up making this 2 videos because of the fact that I have so many notes written down to discuss. So let's begin. The first game I want to talk about is the Timberwolves defeating the Raptors by 4 points in the fourth quarter. And Siakam missed the wide open layup, and he got space. I bet you a bunch of you guys saw it if you're watching this on social media. He did a little Euro step kind of thing, had an easy layup, finger roll, and it just rolled around the basket and out. And you could tell this is like the 4th or 5th time that Siakam has missed a game-winning shot this season, and it sucks for him. I do feel bad because he had a good game this game. Actually, not that good of a game, 18, 8, and 6, and 2, and 1, but he missed that game-winning shot, and they gave it to him. He got the look he wanted, and he just could not convert it. Besides him, though, his three guards in the starting lineup in Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, and Fred VanVleet all put up above 22, with Kyle Lowry finishing with 40 minutes and 24 points. Yet the Timberwolves still came out with the victory behind a big game from Ricky Rubio, who had 16 points and 4 for 8 from 3. I don't think I've ever seen Ricky Rubio go 4 for 8 from 3. So the Timberwolves snuck away with a win without D'Angelo Russell. Very interesting, but to me, this is a game the Raptors have to pull out, and it just sucks. The only other thing I have to say about this game is how underrated of a player Malik Beasley is. He's been shooting lights out, averaging like 20 points per game this season. He's been fantastic. He's one of the reasons that this team had gotten wins without Karl-Anthony Towns playing for a long time. Yet Karl-Anthony Towns finished this game with 7 turnovers as a center. That's not very good. Good efficiency, but 7 turnovers is not very good. The Raptors really are going to have to either make a trade away Kyle Lowry, which I'll talk about later in this video, or trade for Andre Drummond, something I think would help both of those teams, or both those players if they got moved. Next game I was going to discuss is the Spurs Hornets game. This is the game I focused on the most because these are 2 of my favorite teams to watch in the NBA. I've talked a lot about this Spurs young core, and next thing you know, Derek White comes out and has a big game, putting up 25 in the starting lineup. While who was out? Lonnie Walker came off the bench, so they changed up the starting 5 for once, and it seemed to work. They came out with the victory, had a big tied going into the 4th, and Spurs came away with the victory. Nothing really much else to say about this except for Scary Terry Rozier is a walking bucket. He's been fantastic, and I'd love for this team to look to trade for Andre Drummond. I've been saying it for a while now. Terry Rozier is such a good off-ball player. He's really turning into a good off-ball player next to LaMelo Ball. I mean, LaMelo almost finished with a triple-double and had 3 steals. Yes, he had 5 turnovers. He's still a rookie point guard. I'm not going to say anything. You're putting him in the game for 40 minutes. Devontae Graham went out with another injury this game. It sucks to see that because he's been dealing with injuries this whole season. Malik Monk, though, came in and shot 5 for 6 from 3, and he's been playing fantastic in the times that he needs to with Devontae Graham sitting out. And this team didn't even have Gordon Hayward or PJ Washington or the Martin brothers. So I'm not worried about this Hornets team. They're still a better record than that Raptors team I talked about earlier. So just a good overall game from the Spurs. Let's see if I have anything else. Oh, Cody Zeller did a Euro step on Jakob Poeltl. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I really am a big fan of Jalen McDaniels, and I think he's going to be a big man for this team that they're going to want to come off the bench or eventually be the power forward of this team for a very long time. Next game I have written down is the Thunder beat the Bucks, but I didn't watch any of it. The whole team shot efficiently. They shot 47% from the field and 42% from 3. And their starting lineup did fantastic. Al Horford finished with 20, Lou Dort 20, Justin Jackson, some player I never would have thought about talking about, finished with 22. Just a good overall game for them. And Giannis has got to just shoot the ball more. 18 shots, in my opinion, and shooting as many as Bryn Forbes and less than Chris Middleton is bizarre to me. He had 17 rebounds, 10 assists. He actually had a 24-point triple-double, and yet they couldn't come out with a win. And I can't tell if that's because the team around him is just not that good because they're giving valuable minutes to Pat Connaughton and DJ Augustine, who's been very, very bad for this team, or what's going on with this Bucks team. But I am a little bit worried about them, and I'm a big guy saying Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired. That's all that I'm going to talk about for that team. When Shea comes back, I'm a big Thunder. I'm big on the Thunder, and especially their future that they have, and just everything they have going on right now has been fantastic. Next game I want to talk about is the Pelicans versus the Pistons, and it just says what is wrong with the Pelicans. Eric Bledsoe has been playing awful, and you have to trade him and keep Lonzo Ball. That's all I have to say. If once Eric Bledsoe goes off this team, Kira Lewis Jr., in my opinion, is one of the most electric players on this team. I love Kira Lewis Jr. He got finished with 4 steals, 10 points, 4 for 9 shooting in just 17 minutes of play. I loved the production he brought off the bench for this team. Nickeil Alexander-Walker needs to be getting more than 9 minutes when Eric Bledsoe is getting 31 in the starting lineup and shooting 1 for 9 and only shooting threes. He finished with 6 points, 1 for 9 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3. Maybe this is just me, but get Eric Bledsoe off the team with Lonzo Ball and maybe put in a shooter. JJ Redick played 8 minutes this game. Josh Hart has been playing like the power forward position for this team, so I wouldn't even consider him a shooter anymore. Nickeil Alexander-Walker finished the game with 3 for 3, same amount of points in 9 minutes. I have no idea what Stan Van Gundy is doing right now. It's bizarre to me. I'm just boggled at the fact that Eric Bledsoe is still getting valuable minutes for this team. I feel like he'd be in the Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin thing that's like, get me off this team. I'm not going to play for you guys. And I bet you this team would go on like a 4-game win streak without him. So this is not discrediting the fact that the Pistons came out of this game with a win, though. Mason Plumlee had a 17-point triple-double. Yes, I can't believe I'm saying that, but he finished with 10 assists and 10 rebounds. Saddiq Bey's been a fantastic player. I had him high on my mock drafts. My mock drafts. I had him going to the Spurs, and then he fell to the Pistons. And I said he's going to be a 3-and-D player with high IQ he makes everyone around him better. And I'm telling you, he does. He finished with 6 assists, which was second on the team, 3 steals, 4 for 8 from 3. I'm not a big fan of his shooting stroke, but if it goes in, it goes in. I'm not going to say anything. And I'm glad to see Josh Jackson still performing to the way they did. The next game that happened this night was the one that I want to talk about, Grizzlies-Kings, and Kyle Anderson is going on such a hot streak. He finished this game with 17 points, but it looked like he was going to shoot the ball lights out. By the way, I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit sick right now, so that is why I'm a little musty and rusty in my voice. And if you hear me doing that every once in a while, it's because I'm a little bit sick. But 3 for 3 from the three-point line for Kyle Anderson, finished with 17. John Morant's a fantastic leader. I've been saying this since he was drafted. He's the perfect player for this Grizzlies team. You could just see his presence on the court just makes everyone else want to play better. Dylan Brooks shooting 20 shots. I get he shot 50%, but I don't know if I want him shooting 20 shots a game. That's just a little bit bizarre to me. But Kyle Anderson's been so hot, and it's really funny to me to see that. And then I'm saying this again, and I'm going to say it probably for the rest of the season. Tyrese Haliburton finished with 22 points, a plus-minus in a game that they lost by 14. He was in the plus of that. 22 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, good efficiency. Mans is a player. I really hope that this team looks to move on from Buddy Hield, who had a terrible shooting day, and possibly start Tyrese at the 2, because I think that him and De'Aaron Fox will be fantastic next to each other. The next thing I have written down is about the Blazers-Mavericks game, but honestly, this was to me a game that said who's going to be that starting guard in the All-Star game next to Steph Curry. And Luka had a 44-point near triple-double, 9 and 7, with that 44 on incredible efficiency and going to the line 12 times. It's so weird to me. I saw KOT4Q when he was talking about Kristaps Porzingis say Kristaps Porzingis is a small forward and a 7'3" body. And the way he plays the game is so true. He doesn't poster anyone. He's not that aggressive on the rebounding side of the ball. It's just so funny to watch him because he's a spot-up 3-point shooting guy. And then when those aren't falling, he goes for the mid-range, and he doesn't look to be – he's 7'3". If I have him, I'm saying get your ass in the paint and go get offensive boards. He finished with only 2 offensive boards, went to the free throw line 8 times. I think it's really funny. I don't understand where this Mavericks team is building around Luka because Josh Richardson has not been the defensive player that they wanted next to him, and no one could guard Damian Lillard, who finished with 34 points and 11 assists on nearly 50% shooting. He's been a fantastic player this year, but so is Luka. So I'm excited to see who deserves that spot in the All-Star starting. To me, although the Blazers have been better, and yes, Damian Lillard is one of the best, I'd say, leaders in the NBA, I'm still going to give the slight edge to Luka because of stats, but if you give it to Dame, I'm not going to complain. I just think when it's All-Star game, you don't really look at record, you look at individual stats for the All-Star game, and so that's why I'm going to give the edge to Luka Doncic. Next thing I want to talk about the Portland Trailblazers is why did no one pick Carmelo Anthony up for that year and a half that he was out of the league? He's been fantastic. He finished this game with 15 points. He shot 1 for 8 from 3, which is bad, but he's getting valuable minutes on a top 5 team in the West and contributing. He had 16 points the other night in the fourth quarter, or 17 or so. He's been an incredible player for this Blazers team, a wing scorer, and I'm just over here like, why did he not get picked up by teams like the Lakers with LeBron, at the Warriors, at the Celtics at the time? I'm just so confused why no one wanted to take the risk. The Blazers did. I know they weren't great last year. They're going to be very good this year, and they're not even healthy. CJ and Nurkic didn't even play this game. The last game I want to talk about, I guess I will say that the Clippers beat the Cavaliers, but no one's in shock of that. The Clippers, I believe, didn't even have Paul George this game, or Kawhi, and they still beat the Cavaliers team that everyone was so high on to start the season. Cavaliers have really, really fallen off. Colin Sexton had one of the worst plus minuses I've seen. He finished with a minus 31 on the game when you only lose by 17. That is crazy to me. But this Clippers team, Nick Batum's been fantastic pickup. I can't believe he did nothing for that Charlotte Hornets team, not even leadership ability. And he goes to this Clippers team and plays valuable minutes. He didn't have a good game this game, but he only shot the ball 3 times and he had a plus minus of 20. So you're doing something right on the court if that happens. And let me see. The Wizards beat the Celtics. I didn't watch any of that game because it was way too early and I didn't even know NBA was on at that time. But Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook get a win over the abysmal Celtics recently. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully the Celtics can figure their stuff out. And I'm hoping Tatum and Brown can start sharing the ball a lot better because of the fact that they just don't seem like they work that great next to each other. The last game I want to talk about I have 2 more games. Suns beat the Magic. Everyone saw that coming. Chris Paul's been a fantastic player for the Suns team. That's really all I have to say about that. Anthony Davis got injured against the Nuggets, and you could see how much of a difference it made when he was off the court. I'm looking for this Lakers team to possibly make a push at Andre Drummond as he becomes available for trade, because Kyle Kuzma coming into that 4 spot when Anthony Davis is there is not going to bring it defensively, because Anthony Davis, you could see how big of an impact he has on the defensive side. Montrezl Harrell is not that. Kuzma's not that. The Morris brothers not that. So they're going to be banking on Marc Gasol at his old age to be playing those valuable defensive minutes, and that's not going to work for them. And I could see this team going on a little bit of a losing streak if Anthony Davis's injury is serious, but the Nuggets took advantage of it. Jamal Murray had a good Jamal Murray game, putting up 25 points on roughly 50% shooting. And what Facundo Campazzo, this random guy from Argentina, I don't know if he was drafted or not, but he's getting valuable minutes for this team, and his playmaking and just style of basketball is so fun to watch on this bench. And Bol Bol's not getting minutes, coaches' decisions anymore. Very interesting to me because, this team got a win, so I'm not going to fault Mike Malone for not playing him, but that's interesting to see how all the hype he got it throughout the bubble, and now he's getting DMP, coach's decision. Those are all the games from Sunday the 14th. I have some other stuff I'll talk about, but I'm going to make another video for that. And backcourt press.